you would attack the Magisters directly. Are you so eager to die, Seeker? You cannot stand against the Shriekers, not without stronger weapons than these.
We'll find them, or we'll find another way.
Gratiana's head is bowed. From within her mask, you can hear the whispered words of a prayer. She falls silent, turning to face you.
It would be a sweet joy to see the Magisters chased from this land. But I fear all I will see today is death. You have? That's wonderful, of course. But tell me, did you see anything else? Did you find any soul jars? Curses! Please, you must return. You must find them. They're relics of great power. And if they were to fall into the wrong hands, it cannot happen. It must not happen. Please, you must find them. Armadia's blessings upon your brave soul.
Why are you still here? You have a vault to uncover and a soul jar to destroy. This island was a research facility. Safe place for him to research.
You didn't never see him without a book in his hand, always reading about some ancient race. He weren't the sharing kind, but he found something good in there.
The results of his research allowed us to recreate Persian ones based on an ancient design he found. Much of our research was built off what...
He was convinced that great ancient knowledge lay in this land. Greater intellects than mine. The fool's madness knew no bounds.
The skeleton turns and spits, producing a gob of dust that wafts slowly to the ground.
Brachus's whore, and more besides. She helped his rise to power, feeding him the source of the innocent.
She were a canny lass, no question. Treacherous and deceitful. She could lie better than any.
She murdered countless innocents. Women, children, families, towns. Her blood ran rules stiff. I don't doubt that fortunes wax and wane, but the Empire remains unchanging.
Strange. Didn't I just kill you?
Friend, nor your
Hang
own.
on. I've killed you twice now. 3 times makes the charm.
Canst thou not see? The soul jars bind us here.
You can grind our bones to bread.
The soul jar stands on its plinth, glowing softly. From within, you can almost hear the whisper of a voice. You see, or rather, you feel a far-off land. Frozen breath hangs in the air, pine needles brush your cheeks, and in your arms you can feel a weight, a body, dead. But you have hope. Your vision swims. You're older, but perhaps not wiser. You march at the head of a shambling host, the enemies of Brachus Rex melting before you. The scene twists again. Now Brachus stands before you, a beautiful woman at his side. You lash out in treasonous rage, but cold arms bind you. You're sealed away in a tower. Your screams fill the darkness. You feel a jolt and open your eyes to see the soul jar before you, lying still in the vault. Your hand falls from the jar and grips the pillar as you try to calm your ragged breathing. As you remove the lid, a fresh wind fills the room. For a moment, you think you smell pine, and then power rushes inside you. You can feel source coursing through your veins. For a moment, you're seeing through someone else's eyes. You behold a dungeon, a deck of cards in your hand, and a pair of skeletons before the vision passes. The necromancer's memories fade to black, but the feelings remain.
The memories of a necromancer. What could be more vile?
Anyone who marches at the head of an undead host deserves whatever punishment they get.
One must wonder how many more lives they took. How much misery the scum caused.
The jar on the plinth before you seems ancient, but is in surprisingly good condition. It's covered in pictograms that you can't understand, but you're sure you just saw one of them move. The pictograms spin to life, and you're dragged into a dream. You see the lizards of the ancient empire turning their backs on you, casting you out into the wilderness. As you roam, the human apes turn away from you, all but one. One smiles, one opens his arms, one says he'll take you home. Brachus Rex. He promises power for a price. He picks off your golden scales, one by one, stripping you down to the bone. He promised you a crown, but all you got was shackles. You try to fight, try to reclaim what's yours, but a woman takes you by the hand and leads you to a tower. He promised he'd take me home, you cry. You are home, she smiles as she seals the door. This is where you belong. Your hand drops away from the soul jar, your skin prickling. In the back of your mind, you hear a small, scared voice whimper before fading to nothing. As you reach into the jar, the source flows into your body. You feel warm, lightheaded, and you pulse with power. You blink, and for a split second, you're looking through the soul's eyes. You see a locked dungeon, cards scattered on a table, and a pair of skeletons. The image only lasts a moment, and then you're back, the empty soul jar in your hand, while its power pounds through your body. This jar glitters and glows. From within, you think you can make out the distant sound of laughter. With a jerk, your mind is pulled to a scene in a tavern. You see a dwarf in the center of the room, joking us all around roar with laughter. All bar the zombies, who are slavishly serving food and drink. The door opens, and a tall, beautiful woman stalks into the room. She's flanked by heavily armed guards. You can't make out her words, but see the fear in the dwarf's eyes. The dwarf mutters a word, and the undead lurch towards the intruder, but are cut down like wheat. The dwarf tries to run, pushing her friends into the woman's path, but is grabbed before she can escape. As she's dragged away to a tower, you hear her cursing Brachus Rex and his whore. Even when she's thrown inside and the door sealed, you can still hear her shouts. You pull your hand away from the jar, your head swimming. You can feel the dwarf's cold terror still throbbing in your bones. For just a moment, Source swirls around you, and then, with a whisper, it cascades into your body. You feel light as the power of the universe fills your being. You feel your spirit jolt, and for a heartbeat, you're looking through other eyes. You see a dungeon and a table shared with 2 other skeletons before you collapse. When you open your eyes, you're back in your old body, senses buzzing with newly found source power. The vision fades.
I've rarely seen such cowardice on display.
Keeping the dead as slaves? What a disgusting display. She deserved every punishment she got.
Being locked in a tower was more kindness than any necromancer deserves.
The jar before you may have looked opulent once, but no longer. Now it's covered in grime, its paint chipped away, and its jewels long stolen. The soul jar rocks slightly, light flashing from underneath its lid. On its rim, you can just barely make out the name Gratiana. As soon as you touch the jar's cracked surface, you see a vision of splendor, silks, fine food, and decadent lechery. But underneath it all lies bone and blood. The vision shifts. You see burning villages, slaughtered women and children. You see her, purging wand in hand, standing amongst it all. She throws her head back and laughter echoes in your skull. A shadow falls across her, and you see a large, weeping face. She reaches out as if to comfort, but Bracchus drags her back. You see her fall into the mire of the swamp, trapped. As you pull your hand away, you can feel a deep, longing sadness in your soul. Is it regret, or just sadness for a life that used to be?
Nice.
The terrible vision fades.
While she lived a selfish life, she seems to have repented. She should be forgiven.
Whatever a person may have done in life, they can always be redeemed.
However her life began, it ended well. No one should be damned because of their youth.
Gratiana's head is bowed. From within her mask, you can hear the whispered words of a prayer. She falls silent, turning to face you.
I'm pleased to see you, but there is work to be done. There are powerful relics called soul jars hidden in Brachus Rex's vault. Have you discovered any in your travels? Questions? There is no time for questions. Just give me the jars. You don't understand. You couldn't understand. Please, I need it. Please give it to me. Hiding. Impatient.
She reaches up and tears off her mask, revealing a wet skull, stained by centuries. You stare into the empty eye sockets of the undead creature before you.
You dare speak to me of hiding? You dare speak to me of patience? I have waited centuries, watching lives come and go, while my soul lies locked in a cage. I have been patient enough. Return to me what is mine. Return my soul, you insolent pup!
She reaches greedily for the jar, tearing the cap off. You see a green glowing light emerge from the jar, enveloping Gratiana.
By Armadia, I feel wet. Oh, Goddess, I can feel your tears upon my face. I suppose you deserve to know. Before I knew Armadia's grace, I was a very different person. I was the concubine of Brachus Rex, but more than his lover, I was his partner. I discovered his power to feed on the source of others, and I allowed it to... No, I made it happen. You don't understand. No one understands. My heart held such fear, but with Brachus I was safe. He needed me, and I needed him. As his strength grew, so too did mine. There is nothing you cannot do when you sit on the lap of a powerful king. And I did it all. But power changes a man, as he changes his nation. Brachus grew paranoid, angry, murderous. Armadia, forgive me. It's true. As he grew distant, I just pushed harder. I gave him more and more, trying to win him back to me. I offered him the source of whole villages. He devoured them and demanded more. The lands outside were once green and beautiful, until I came. Until I turned them over to him. Now all's poison, and the dead are restless. Armadia is merciful in her love. I found this shrine while hunting a band of wizards. I found the goddess weeping for her children, and I wept too.
She pauses for a moment. If she had eyes, you're sure she'd be wiping them.
Through Armadia, I saw my sins, and I could bear it no longer. I threw myself from the cliff at the entrance. I tried to rid the world of my evil, but Brachus would not allow it. He brought me back from the Hall of Echoes, locked my soul away, and demanded my obedience. Even in death, he commanded me. Only when 2 source hunters ended his curse was I free. Since then, I have returned here and spent centuries trying to heal the pain I've caused. And now...
She drops the now empty soul jar to the ground, smashing it to pieces with her foot.
You have my thanks, brother.
She starts to speak, but chokes back a sob instead.
Thank you. I can't... I've never known such kindness. Thank you for everything. May you walk forever in Armadia's grace.